Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashodanandana Vraja Jana Ranjana Yamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakaacharya Ashtota Sahasri His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivrajakaacharya Ashtota Sahasri His Divine Grace Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki Jai. Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Jai. Nitai Gaura Premanande. All glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. We are reading from Canto 1, Chapter 19, entitled The Appearance of Shukadeva Goswami, text number 31. Prashantamasīnamakuntamedasam Munim Nrupo Bhagavatobhyupetya Pranamya Murdna Vahitakritanjalir Natva gira sunrutayanva prichat Prashantamasīnamakuntamedasam Munim Nrupo Bhagavatobhyupetya Pranamya Murdna Vahitakritanjalir Natva gira sunrutayanva prichat Prashantamasīnamakuntamedasam Munim Nrupo Bhagavatobhyupetya Pranamya Murdha Vahitakritanjalir Natva gira sunrutayanva prichat. Prashantamasīnamakuntamedasam मुनिं नृपो भागवतोऽन्व्युपेत्य पूर्णावहितकृताञ्जलिर् नत्वा गिरा सूनृतयान्वपृच्छत् प्रशान्तमासीनमकुण्ठमेधसम् मुनिं नृपो भागवतोऽभ्युपेत्य प्रणम्य मूर्ध्ना वहितकृताञ्जलिर् नत्वा गिरा सूनृतयान्वपृच्छत्. Mataji, I'll read word-to-word translation. Prashantam, perfectly pacified. Asinam, sitting. Akunta, without hesitation. Medhasam, one who has sufficient intelligence. Munim, unto the great sage. Nripaha, the king, Maharaj Parikshit. Bhagavata, the great devotee. Abhyupetya, approaching him. Pranamya, bowing down. Murdna, his head. Avahita, properly. Kritanjali, with folded hands. Natva, politely. Gira, by words. Sunrutaya, in sweet voices. Anvaprichat, inquired. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation. The sage Sri Shukadeva Goswami sat perfectly pacified, intelligent, and ready to answer any question without hesitation. The great devotee Maharaj Parikshit approached him, offered his respects by bowing before him, and politely inquired with the sweet words and folded hands. Purport. The gesture now adopted by Maharaj Parikshit of questioning a master is quite befitting in terms of scriptural injunctions. The scriptural injunction is that one should humbly approach a spiritual master to understand the transcendental science. Maharaj Parikshit was now prepared for meeting his death. And within the very short time of 7 days, he was to know the process of entering the kingdom of God. In such important cases, one is required to approach a spiritual master. There is no necessity of approaching a spiritual master unless one is in need of solving the problems of life. One who does not know how to put questions before the spiritual master has no business seeing him. And the qualification of the spiritual master is perfectly manifested in the person of Shukadeva Goswami. Both the spiritual master and the disciple, namely Sri Shukadeva Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit, attained perfection through the medium of Srimad Bhagavatam. Shukadeva Goswami learned Srimad Bhagavatam from his father Vyasadeva, but he had no chance to recite it. Before Maharaj Parikshit, he recited Srimad Bhagavatam and answered the questions of Maharaj Parikshit unhesitatingly. And thus both the master and the disciple got salvation. Om Ajnana Timirandasya चक्षुरोन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। So we are reading a very beautiful verse. Parishit Maharaj approaching Shukadeva Goswami and is going to put forward very important questions to Shukadeva Goswami. The questions will start from the glorification of Shukadeva Goswami, and the subsequent questions asked by Parishit Maharaj to Shukadeva Goswami will start from the next verse. In this verse, we see how Parishit Maharaj is approaching Shukadeva Goswami in a very humble manner. So we'll try to go through the verse. Prashantam asinam akunta medasam munim nrupo bhagavatobhyupetya pranamya murdna vahita kritanjalir natva gira sundrutayanva prichat. So in the shloka, what is the verb in the sentence? Anva prichat. Anva prichat means inquired. And who is the subject of the sentence? That means who is the performer of that action of inquiring? Nripaha, the king. The king inquired. And is there anything more about the king? What kind of a king? Bhagavataha Nripaha. That king is not simply a king. He is actually a Bhagavata. He is a devotee of Bhagavan. Bhagavata, the simple meaning is that one who is devoted to Bhagavan, the devotee of Krishna. So Bhagavataha Nripaha Anva Prichat. So when somebody is inquiring, he must be inquiring to a particular person. So to whom he is inquiring? What is the karma of that action? Munim, Bhagavataha Nripaha Munim Anva Prichat. He inquired to the Muni. And is there anything more said about that Muni? What are the qualities of that Muni? Prashantam, who is completely pacified, who is completely peaceful. He inquired to a Muni who is completely peaceful. Prashantam asinam. Asinam means was seated. He inquired unto the Muni who was seated there with a peaceful mind. Prashantam asinam akunta medasam. Akunta medasam is another quality or adjective which is used to describe the word Muni. Akunta medasam, we will see that also in little more detail. Akunta medasam means one who has unobstructed knowledge or one who has unlimited knowledge. That is the Muni to whom Parishit Maharaj is inquiring. And before inquiring, what did Parishit Maharaj do? Sometimes there are two actions. After going to the house, a person ate. Gar jaake ek aadmi khana khaye. So the first action is going to the house and then a person ate. So before inquiring, what did Parishit Maharaj do? pranamya, he offered obeisances. He offered obeisances. There is a, for every action, there is an instrument of the action. So what is the instrument of the action of offering obeisances? Murdna pranamya. He offered obeisances with his head. And Kritanjali, after offering obeisances, he had a Anjali mudra. He had folded hands. He offered obeisances and then with the folded hands. And then again Natva. Natva means again offering obeisances. One may wonder, he already offered obeisances and then he's folding his hands. And then why is he again offering obeisances? Because he is going to ask questions. Because he is going to ask questions, so therefore he is again offering obeisances. Murdna pranamya kritanjalir natva. So for again offering obeisances. And then he is asking questions. While asking questions, what kind of words he is speaking? Sundritaya gira. Gira means words. Sundritaya is the adjective for the words he is speaking. Sundritaya gira. Sundritaya means maduraya gira. With the sweet words he inquired. And then one more word which is there, avahitaha. Avahitaha means with great care, savadani se, with great attention. Means whatever words he is speaking, whatever actions of offering obeisances, with great attention, and he is actually speaking sweet words. With those sweet words, he is inquiring from Shukadeva Goswami. So if we see the Anvaya of the shloka, Anvaya means rearranging the words in a prose format. In such a way, we can make out the meaning easily. So what is the Anvaya of the shloka? Nripaha Bhagavataha Prashantam Asinam Akunta Medasam Munim Abhyupetya. I forgot to mention this word. Abhyupetya. Abhyupetya means Samipam Agatya. Coming close to Shukadeva Goswami. Abhyupetya. Murdna Pranamya. Offering obeisances with one's head. Kritanjali with the folded hands. Natva, again offering obeisances because he is going to ask questions. Avahitaha Sundritaya gira anva pruchat. With great attention, he is, with sweet words, he inquired from Shukadeva Goswami. So this way we are trying to understand the shloka. So let us try to go through some of the words in the shloka with a little more particular meanings given by the acharyas. So Shukadeva Goswami, one of the words which is used to describe Shukadeva Goswami is prashantam. Prashantam means kopadi dosha rahitatvam. One who is free from anger and other doshas. Kopa adi, that means we can say anger, lust, kama, krodha, mada, matsara, all those doshas. Kopa adi dosha rahitatvam. So here this is one of the qualification of a guru. Even Rupa Goswami says that Vacho Vegam, Manasa Krodha Vegam, Jihva Vegam, Udara Upasta Vegam, Yetan Vegan Yo Vishaheta Dira, Sarvam Apimam Prithivimsa Sishyat. A person who is free from the 6 urges, the urge to speak, the urges of the mind, the urges of the anger, urges of the genitals and the belly, Udara Upasta Vegam. So such a person is actually qualified to be a guru. So Prashantam. How can a person become Prashanta? How can a person be completely satisfied? Yamunacharya says, Bhavantamevanu charan nirantara prashanta nishesha manoratantara kadahamaikântika nitya kinkara praharshayishyami sanata jeevitam. So, Bhavantam evanu charan nirantara. Yamunacharya says that by serving you constantly, nirantara, prashanta nishesha manoratantara, one is freed from nishesha manoratantara, all material desires. Nishesha, that means without having any remnants of desires. Nishesha, without leaving behind anything. One is freed from all material desires, and prashanta, one becomes completely pacified. Kadaham aikantika nitya kinkara. When shall I engage as your eternal servant and praharsha yishyami sanata jeevitam? In this way, when shall I become joyful to have a master like you? So, prashanta and the word muni, they can also be explained with another verse from the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna speaks about the qualities of a sthita prajna. Dukesh anudvigna mana, sukeshu vigata spruha, vita raga bayakroda sitadir muni ruchyate. Krishna is talking about a sitadir muni, a sage of a steady mind. Dukeshu anudvigna mana. Dukkha means what? Dukkha means priya vishlesha and apriya agamana. Getting separated from what we like and obtaining what we don't like. That is called as a dukkha. So, dukkeshu anudvigna mana. So, when a person obtains something which is undesirable, or he is separated from what is desirable, anudvigna mana, he is not disturbed. Anudvigna mana, he is undisturbed. And sukeshu vigata spruha. Sukeshu, that means when a person has obtained what he has desired, or when he is separated from what is undesirable, at that time only a person gets sukha. But sukeshu vigata spruha. But even at that time, vigata spruha means he does not crave or have thirst to enjoy that pleasure. Dukeshu anudvigna mana, sukeshu vigata spruha. And then he says that vita raga baya krodha. So the word vita should be added with each of the three words. Vita raga, vita baya, and vita krodha. Being free from raga, being free from baya, being free from krodha. So 5 points are mentioned. Dukeshu anudvigna mana. When the dukkha comes, when a person is undisturbed. Sukeshu vigata spruha. When a person gets sukha, he does not crave for that sukha. And vita raga. Raga here means, raga also means sukha. But here, the sukha which will come in the future. Vita raga means not having the desire towards that sukha which will come in the future. So previously, sukeshu vigata spruha means presently the sukha has come, but a person is not craving for that sukha, or a person is not attached to that sukha. But vita raga refers to being freed from the desire towards the sukha which will come in the future. And vita baya refers to being freed from the fear of obtaining a dukkha which may come in the future. So previously, dukeshu anudvigna mana refers to dukkha which has come in the present but not being disturbed. But Vita Bhaya refers to the dukkha which may come in the future, but not having fear of that. And Vita Raga Bhaya Krodha. Vita Bhaya refers to what? Bhaya refers to, Vita Krodha refers to, usually for us to get some sukha or dukkha, some person may be an instrumental cause, an immediate cause. No, somebody becomes an instrumental cause for getting particular dukkha in our life, we become angry towards such a person. And some person may be an instrument for obtaining sukha in our life, we become little partial towards such a person. So here especially Vita Krodha, that means not becoming angry towards such a person who is the cause of we obtaining dukkha in our life. So these 5 characteristics are mentioned. Dukkeshu anudvignamana, sukeshu vigataspruha, Vita Raga, Vita Bhaya, Vita Krodha. One who is having these 5 characteristics, he is called as a Sitadir Muni. He is a sage of a steady mind. And the same point is mentioned here by the word Prashantam Munim, one who is completely a pacified Muni. That is the quality of Shukadeva Goswami being talked about here. And then Asinam. Asinam, one of the acharyas give the meaning, Asinam means Sukham Upavishtam. He was very happily seated there. Happily seated there. And then Sukham Asinam Munim. The word Muni means Manana Shila, one who is expert in contemplation. Manana Shila. Manana means when we hear something and then we are supposed to contemplate upon it. When we contemplate only, then the knowledge will go deep. We can internalize the knowledge. While doing the process of contemplation, we are trying to remove all the doubts. Then after all the doubts are removed, then a person can meditate on that knowledge. That is called as Nididhyasanam. And then when a person meditates on that knowledge, then a person gets direct darshan of that knowledge. One can realize that knowledge. So there are 4 processes, 4 stages. Shravanam, Mananam, Nididhyasanam, and then comes Darshanam. So Muni means somebody who is expert in contemplation. Manana Shila. Shukadeva Goswami elsewhere in the Bhagavatam, he is described as Muni Sattama. Yadoshcha Dharma Shilasya Nitaram Muni Sattama Tatram Shena Avatirnasya Vishnur Viryani Shamsana. Parishit Maharaj is calling Shukadeva Goswami by the word Muni Sattama. That means best among the thoughtful philosopher devotees of Krishna. Muni Tama and Sattama. Sattama means one is devoted to the truth, the Param Satya. That means a devotee, the best among the devotees. Muni Tama, the best among the thoughtful philosopher, thoughtful devotees of Krishna. Narada Muni is also called by the word Muni Sattama. So Prabhupada says that Muni Sattama means one must be faithful, thoughtful, and a devotee of Krishna. One must be faithful, learned, and renounced. Otherwise, one cannot be a pure devotee. And then another word which is used is Akunta Medasam. Prashantam Asinam Akunta Medasam. Prabhupada gives a translation of the word Akunta means without hesitation. Shukadeva Goswami, because in that assembly, so many sages were present. Some of them are his gurus and his param gurus and very great learned sages from all over the universe. So in the assembly of such a sages, one may have certain hesitation to speak. But Shukdev Goswami was without hesitation, he was going to speak. But that doesn't mean that he had some disrespect towards them. He offered proper respects to all these personalities. And then without hesitation, he is going to speak. A sadhu is like a vaidya. Sadhu is like a surgeon. A surgeon should have the qualities of confidence. He should have courage and he should have skills. He should have the proper skills of a surgery. But he should be confident also. And you should have the courage, because sometimes people, by seeing the blood, the surgeon, by seeing the blood, if he collapses, then who will perform the surgery? So he should have courage also. So sadhu is also like a surgeon. So he should be properly trained in the knowledge, and he should be ready to give the knowledge without any hesitation. So Prabhupada gives this meaning, akunta medasam, without any hesitation. But there is another meaning of the word akunta medasam, which is also given by the acharyas. Akunta medasam means one who has all the knowledge, or one who has unobstructed knowledge, or one who has indestructible knowledge. The word akunta medasam comes many places in the Bhagavatam. For example, in the 4th canto, Namasta Ashisham Isha Manave Karanatmane Namo Dharmaya Brihate Krishnaya Akunta Medase. Lord Shiva is glorifying Krishna as Krishnaya Akunta Medase. Akunta Medase means one whose brain activity is never checked. So Prabhupada says that the scientists have stopped their brain work by coming up with the Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. The physics, in the quantum physics, there is a uncertainty principle where the atom is called as a both as a particle and as a wave. How can an atom be both particle and a wave? And they say that is called as the uncertainty principle. So scientists have stopped their brain work by coming up with this theory of uncertainty. But Krishna is called as Akunta Medase. That means one whose brain activity is never checked by time and place. And that is why Krishna says, Vedaham samatitani vartamanani charjuna bhavishyani cha bhutani mam tu vedana kachana. I know the past, present and future, but nobody knows me. So Akunta Medase means one who has an unobstructed knowledge. The Atma is actually made of jnana. But when the Atma is in different kinds of bodies, its knowledge is obstructed. For example, there is a lamp is there. When the lamp is covered by an opaque surface, the effulgence, the light of the lamp is completely covered. But when the lamp is covered by a translucent surface, that means a semi-transparent surface, the light of the lamp is partially covered. When the lamp is covered by a transparent surface, then the light of the lamp is almost completely visible. When the lamp is completely uncovered, when there is no surface, the lamp is fully uncovered. The light of the lamp is completely available to the objects next to it. So similarly, when the living entity is in bodies of trees, the knowledge of the living entity is almost completely covered, like a opaque surface. When the living entity is in the body of an animal, then it is comparatively the knowledge is little less covered. When the Atma is in the body of a human being, then the knowledge is even more uncovered. Knowledge is even more available. When the Atma is in the body of a Devata, Devatas, because of their superior Sattva Guna, they are able to perceive, they have great knowledge. But when the Atma is completely liberated, then the Atma's knowledge is completely unobstructed. So that stage is called as Akunta Medasam. Shukdev Goswami's knowledge is actually, he has an unobstructed knowledge. There are other places also the word Akunta comes. When Hiranyaksha was killed by Varahadev, so Hiranyaksha was lying down dead there, but Hiranyaksha had a unfaded effulgence, Akunta Varchasam. Usually when a person dies, as time progresses, the body becomes very stale. The effulgence of the body starts decaying. But here Hiranyaksha had an unfaded effulgence, Akunta Varchasam. Usually when the spirit soul is there in the body, then the body is effulgent, active. But here the spirit soul has left the body, but still the body is so effulgent because Hiranyaksha's body had been touched by the supreme spirit, that is Varahadev. And similarly here, because Shukdev Goswami is in contact with the supreme spirit, therefore his knowledge is unobstructed, Akunta Medasam. In the 9th canto, the Brahmanas are offering prayers to Lord Ram. Namo Brahmanya Devaya Ramaya Akunta Medase Uttama Shloka Duryaya Nyasta Dandar Pitangraye. So they are calling Lord Ram as Akunta Medase, one whose memory and knowledge are never disturbed by anxiety. One may have a lot of knowledge, but sometimes during very stressful circumstances, when you are filled with anxieties, all the knowledge which we have heard or studied, all that knowledge evaporates actually during exam time or some certain problems of stress. But Lord Ram's, one whose knowledge and memory is never disturbed by anxiety. In the 10th canto, the Brahmanas, when they realized their mistake, they didn't offer footsteps for Krishna and Balaram. Krishna's cowherd boyfriends, they came and asked for the footsteps. They didn't offer footsteps, but later the Brahmana Patnis, they went and offered footsteps to Krishna. And later the Brahmanas, they realized their mistake. And at that time they say, Tasmai Namo Bhagavate Krishnaya Akunta Medase Yanmaya Mohita Diyo Brahmama Karma Vartmasu. Let us offer obeisances unto Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose intelligence is never bewildered. But whereas we, confused by his power of illusion, are simply wandering about in the samsara because of our fruitive activities. So the Brahmanas, although they were learned in the Shastra, because of their Kshudrasha Bhuri Karmano, because of their petty desire to go to heaven, they were absorbed in their Bhuri Karmana, the activities of performing the yajna. Shinvanto apina susrushuhu. Although they heard the yachana of those cowherd boyfriends, but they did not pay attention. Because we are bewildered by your actually illusory potency. But your intelligence is never bewildered. Krishnaya Akunta Medase. So here Shukdev Goswami, being the devotee of Krishna, he is also having Akunta Medasam, unobstructed knowledge. And Parikshit Maharaj is called by the word Nripa and Bhagavata. Bhagavata means a devotee of Krishna. So the qualification for Parikshit Maharaj to ask questions from Shukdev Goswami is Bhagavata is a devotee of Krishna. And Parikshit Maharaj is first offering obeisances. Murdna Pranamya. First he is approaching Shukdev Goswami closely. Abhyupetya, it means Samipam Agatya, he approached him, he came near to him, and then he is offering obeisances. So offering obeisances, it is such a actually important act. Once there was a Mrikandu Rishi, he had a son, small child, and some sages came to his house, and then the Mrikandu Rishi asked those sages, can you tell me about my son? What kind of qualities he will have? Those sages said that, oh, your son will live only for 6 months more. That child was only, he was a small child, but only few years old. But he said, your child will live only for 6 months more. So and immediately, Mrikandu Rishi performed Upanayana Samskara for that child. And then he told that child, whomever you see, you offer obeisances to the person. So that child, very sincerely, whomever he would meet, he would offer obeisances. One day, the Chatushkumaras came to Mrikandu Rishi's ashram. And this child offered obeisances so sincerely, and the Chatushkumaras, they spontaneously gave blessings. Chiranjeevi Bhava, may you live long. And then after giving the blessings, they actually felt something wrong. By their mystic power, they could understand that, oh, this child is only supposed to live for 6 months. He's supposed to live only for a few days more. And then, but we have offered such a blessings. So they felt, they came in a dilemma. And then they took the child along with him and they went to Brahmaloka. And then this child offered obeisances very sincerely to Brahmaji. And Brahmaji also spontaneously said, Chiranjeevi Bhava. And then, so these sages, the Chatushkumaras, they asked the question that we also gave such a blessings, you also given such a blessings, but actually, according to his karma, he is supposed to live only for few days more. So Brahmaji said that, Brahmaji told, so because he has offered such sincere pranams, he will live for 7 kalpas. Like that, Brahmaji actually changed his karma only. So therefore, offering obeisances is such an act that by that, that son of Mrikandu Rishi, he became Markandeya, having a lifespan of 7 kalpas. So in the Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Krishna speaks about the activities of the Mahatmas. Satatam kirtayanto mam yatantascha dridavrataha namasyantascha mam bhaktya nitya yukta upasate. So Mahatmas, they offer obeisances to Krishna, namasyantascha. So Ramanuja tells 3 particular points about offering obeisances offered by the Mahatmas. Bhakti bara avanamita. When the Mahatmas offer obeisances, they offer obeisances because there is a great weight of bhakti in their heart. And because of that unbearable weight of bhakti, they offer obeisances. That means it is not, they are not offering obeisances simply as a matter of ritual. Because of that load of bhakti in their heart, they spontaneously offer obeisances. And then they offer obeisances with their 8 angas of their body. Mano, Buddhi, Abhimana, Padadvaya, Karadvaya, Shirobhihi, Ashtangaihi. Padadvaya with the 2 legs, Karadvaya with the 2 hands, Shirobhihi, head, 2 plus 2 plus 1, 5, Mana, Buddhi, Abhimana. Mind, one's intelligence, Abhimana, one's identity, ego. Some places it is explained one's words. When you are offering obeisances, we also speak words actually glorifying the Supreme Lord or the spiritual master. Mano Buddhi Abhimana. This is the Ashtanga Pramana. And then they offer obeisances. Achintita Pamsu Kardama Sharkaradike Dharatale Dandavat Pranipatantaha. They offer obeisances like a danda. So many times we say Dandavat Pranama. We say Dandavat Pranama, but we don't think deeply what is this Dandavat Pranama. So when in the case of a danda, when the danda actually falls in the ground, the danda does not think that, oh, is the ground, is it a clean place or is it an unclean place? Or is there a tan in this place or not? Or is it a smooth surface or is there a tan in this surface? So danda does not think about the place in which it is falling. So therefore Dandavat Pranama means Achintita Pamsu Kardama Sharkaradike. Without contemplating about whether there is a tan here, whether there is a dust here, is it a smooth surface? Without thinking like that, when a person falls flat, that is called as a Dandavat Pranama. In this way, offering obeisances. So, Murdna Pranamya, Parishit Maharaj offered such obeisances. And then, Parishit Maharaj, before asking questions, he is again offering obeisances. So, we see that shows, that is why Prabhupada is capturing in the purport so beautifully. The gesture now adopted by Parishit Maharaj of questioning a master is quite befitting in terms of scriptural injunctions. And then Parishit Maharaj is speaking sweet words. Sundritaya Gira. So about the quality of speech, Vidura is speaking. I guess Vidura or somebody. In Udyoga Parva there is a verse about the 4 levels of controlled speech. Avyahritam Vyahritat Shreya Ahuhu. The first level of controlled speech is to prefer silence instead of speaking something nonsense. Satyam Vadet Vyahritam Tadvitiyam. The second level of controlled speech is to speak only the truth. Priyam Vadet Vyahritam Tadtritiyam. The third level of controlled speech is to speak the truth in a pleasing manner. Dharmyam Vadet Vyahritam Tat Chaturtam. And fourth level of controlled speech is to speak subject matter pertaining to Dharma. So Parishit Maharaj is not only going to speak with a pleasing words, but he is going to ask questions which is of great relevance not only for himself but for all time to come and for all the people in this world. So that is what Prabhupada is saying, that one should not, when a person approaches a spiritual master, one should ask questions about the real problems of life. About the supreme Dharma, Parishit Maharaj is going to ask questions. And not only that, he is going to ask, he is asking questions in a humble mood, in a pleasing way. And then here we see in this particular section, in this particular verse, so Parishit Maharaj is physically approaching a guru. So today is a day and age where people want to learn from a distance. So what is the need of approaching a guru? What is the need of a personal guru? So Krishna himself says, Anadya vidya yuktasya purushasya atma vedanam svatona sambhavadanyas tattvagno jnanado bhavet. So I will emphasize 2 points in this shloka. The first point is that Anadya vidya yuktasya, the living entity is endowed with avidya since Anadi Kala. There is no Adi for his ignorance. In fact, the theory that the living entity came from the spiritual world, is not supported by Krishna in the shloka in the Srimad Bhagavatam. So Anadi Avidya, there is no beginning for the ignorance of the living entity. Anadi Avidya Yuktasya. Purushasya Atma Vedanam and Swatona Sambhavad Anyas. And one cannot come out of this ignorance on one's own. Tattvajno Jnanado Bhavet. One has to, Tattvajna, Tattvadarshi, a spiritual master, when he comes and gives knowledge, then only he can come out of this ignorance. So there is a story in the Mahabharata that, like, in this time and age, people may say, what is the need of a personal guru when everything is available in the internet? There's so much of lectures and books are available. What is the need of a personal guru? Or just like, for example, while performing a yajna, we light with a matchstick. So previously people would light a yajna by chanting the mantra, or there would be actually a churning rod to bring out the fire. But now what is the need of this mantra and churning rod? Because we have got matchstick and other sophisticated things. So similarly, what is the need of a personal guru when we have so many books and online classes available? So one may have this question. So there was a person called as a Yavakrita, a Brahmana boy, who refused to go to a traditional Gurukul, where students go to learn from a personal guru. But then when he grew up, he realized that he cannot function as a Brahmana without an education. But then, he decided that somehow he has to obtain some knowledge, because he has to earn wealth, he has to function as a Brahmana. But then, because he was grown up, he felt ashamed to go to Gurukul at that age, because he will have to study with many younger students. So then, but then he heard that, oh, by performing tapasya we can obtain knowledge. So then he went deep into the forest and he started performing tapasya. And then he performed tapasya for many days, but he didn't get any knowledge. So many years passed, but there was no result. So one day he went to take a dip in the river, and he saw an old man sitting and pouring sand from the bank into the river with his hands. And this person asked that, he became curious what this old man is trying to achieve. And the old man said that, I need to cross the river. I don't know how to swim the river. I don't know how to swim. And there are no boats available. So therefore, I am trying to build a bridge across the river by pouring sand into the river. And this Yavakrita started laughing. Do you think that you can make a bridge across the river by putting the sand? And then this old man said that, if you think that you can obtain knowledge without going to a personal guru, without the need of going to a personal guru, then what is wrong in myself thinking to make a bridge by putting sand into the river? So at that time, it actually dawned upon Yavakrita about the mistake which he was thinking. Then he realized that, oh, this Brahmana is actually Indra who came. This old man is an Indra who assumed that form of an old man in order to teach him about the need of going to a personal guru. So therefore, we see that in the Srimad Bhagavatam, Sandipani Muni, he is giving blessings to Krishna. Aho he putraka yuyam asmadarteti dukhitaha atma vai praninam preshtas tam anadritya matpara. He is telling Krishna and Sudama that you have suffered so much for my sake. Asmadarte ati dukkita. And the body is very dear to a living entity, but you actually took so much of trouble in your body in order to serve me. and you completely disregarded your physical comfort in order to serve me, tam anadritya matpara, etad evahi sat shishyai. This is the duty of all the true disciples. Kartavyam guru nishkrutam. This is how a true disciple should repay the debt towards the Guru, Guru Nishkritam. How? Yadvai Vishuddha Bhavena Sarvartha Atmarpanam Guru. With the pure heart, one should offer one's body, and one should offer one's wealth, and one should offer one very self to the Guru. And then Sandipani Muni said that Tushtoham bo dvijasreshta satya santu manorata chandam ayata yamani bhavantviha paratracha. You boys are the best of the twice born. Tushtoham, I am satisfied with you. And then he gave two blessings. Satya santu manorata, may all your desires be fulfilled. And chandamsi ayata yamani. So Krishna says in the Gita, Yata yamam gatarasam. The food in the mode of ignorance, one of the quality of food in mode of ignorance is that the food which is cooked many hours before, 4 hours, 5 hours before. So the food which is cooked many hours before, that loses such a food actually loses the taste actually. The freshness of the food is lost. Here, Chandipani Muni uses the word ayata yamani. May your knowledge always remain fresh. So, many times we often see in our spiritual life, the knowledge which we inspired in the beginning of our spiritual life, the same lecture or the same verses, the same purpose, many years down the line, we may not derive the same inspiration. But here, the secret of that freshness of that knowledge, ayata yamani, chandamsi ayata yamani, the secret of the freshness of the knowledge is the blessings of the Guru or the blessings of the Vaishnavas. Bhavantviha paratracha. May the Vedic mantras you have learned never lose their meaning for you in this world or the next. That means, it also means that sometimes one may have theoretical knowledge, but then in a particular situation, so which knowledge to be used? We may lack that wisdom to use that particular knowledge to apply in that particular situation. So that is because of our knowledge is not fresh. It is only a bookish knowledge actually. So Sandipani Muni gave that blessings by seeing the attitude of Krishna and Sudama. And then we see Parishit Maharaj, his respect towards Shukadeva Goswami. There is a beautiful verse in the Paduka Sahasram where Bharat Maharaj saying that Matva Trinaya Bharata Manipada Rakshe Ramena Tam Virahitam Raghurajatanim Tvameva Sapranaya Mujjayinim Avantim Mene Mahodayamayim Maturam Ayodhyam. So Bharat is telling to the Paduka, Ramena Tam Virahitam Raghurajadanim Matva Trinaya. In the separation from Ram, I consider the entire wealth of Ayodhya to be like a blade of grass. Raghu Rajadanim Matva Trinaya Matva. I consider it to be a blade of grass. And then Tvam Eva, he is telling to the Paduka, I consider you as Ujjain. I consider you as Avanti. I consider you as Mathura. I consider you as Ayodhya. All these are different holy places. Mahodayamayim. Tvam eva sap pranayam. With great affection, I consider you only as the different holy places. So, what is the meaning of this? The Paduka represents the spiritual master. A disciple considers the spiritual master as a personification of the holy places. In the feet of the spiritual master, all the holy places reside. We'll see in the just a few verses later, Parishit Maharaj, the way he will glorify Shukadeva Goswami, that Shukadeva Goswami's power to purify any places he visits. Bhavad Bida Bhagavata Tirtha Bhuta Swayam Vido Tirthi Kuruvanti Tirthani Swantastena Gatabrata. The devotees can purify any places they can visit. So Bharat Maharaj is also having a similar consciousness. And then, so in this particular shloka, there is alternative meaning. Matva Tvameva sa pranayam ujjayinim avantim. So I consider you as Ujjayini. Ujjayini means I consider you as a paduka with great effulgence. Ujjayini refers to something with great effulgence. Avanti. Avanti, that means that I salute you, I offer obeisances to you, Paduka, because you have protected me from any blemish of desiring Ram's kingdom. Because you have come, you are actually protecting me. Otherwise, people would be thinking that, oh, Bharat was interested in Ram's kingdom. That is why he made all this drama, he sent Ram away. But because you have come and you are sitting on the throne of Ayodhya, you are protecting me from the blemish of desiring Ram's kingdom. Therefore, I call you as Avanti. And you are Madhura because you are sweet to everyone. And Ayodhya, I salute you as Ayodhya because you cannot be conquered by anyone in the battle. In this way, Bharat is glorifying the Paduka of Lord Ram. And here we see Parishit Maharaj also, we see a parallel. Parishit Maharaj also considered the entire kingdom as a blade of grass, and then he actually renounced the kingdom. Just like Bharat Maharaj considered the entire kingdom of Ayodhya as a trina in absence of Lord Ram. And just like Bharat considered the Paduka of Lord Ram to be the personification of holy places, Parishit Maharaj is actually respecting Shukadeva Goswami as the person who can purify even the holy places. And lastly, we see, like here we explain that how Parishit Maharaj is approaching Shukadeva Goswami with great respect, offering obeisances. But there is another verse in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu where Narada Muni speaks about Shukadeva Goswami, and Narada Muni tells, Na kachid abhavad guror bhajana yantranebi abhignata. You are not known to have suffered pains in the service of the Guru. Na sadhana vidav, and you have no trace of exerting even a drop of labor in following the rules of sadhana. But you have succeeded in attaining the prema of Krishna, which is the wealth sought by the Paramahamsas. So Narada Muni is actually exclaiming to Shukadeva Goswami because Yam Pravrajantam Anupetam Apeta Krityam. Apeta Krityam means he did not undergo any of the samskaras. Usually a person undergoes Namakarana, Namakarana Samskara, and then like Chuda Karana, and then different samskaras and Upanayana Samskara, and then a person undergoes the Vedaramba Samskara, and then a person goes to the Gurukul, and in the Guru's ashram a person studies for many years, performs menial services, and a lot of austerity involved there, and then after coming out of the Guru's ashram, then a person starts teaching, then a person becomes mature in his understanding. But here Shukadeva Goswami, Narada Muni is saying that it seems that you have not performed any sadhana and you are not known to have suffered pains in the service of the Guru, but still you have attained the wealth of prema. Just imagine somebody who has not gone to MBBS, he has not done MD, he has not done DM, but he is ready to perform the open heart surgery. So that will be like somebody who has gone through all these processes, he will think that, oh, I have slogged so much to come to the level of DM cardiology and performing open heart surgery, but this person has not gone through any of these processes. How can he actually perform this? But that is why Shukdev Goswami is also called as Kripa Siddha. And Narada Muni and others, they recognize the position of Shukdev Goswami, and they chose to hear from Shukdev Goswami, Vyasadev, Narada Muni, and they chose to hear from Shukdev Goswami. And in this way we see that the different qualities of Parishit Maharaj we discussed, the qualities of Shukdev Goswami, Akunta Medasam, Prashantam, and the way to approach a spiritual master. We also discussed some comparison between Parishit Maharaj and Bharat Maharaj from the Ramayana. Hare Krishna. So I think because of time, I will not take questions. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai.